Story begins on an island where a group of hunters face off against several giant monster ants. Their leader gets up close and personal with one as he explains that they must hold the monsters back at all costs and they cannot retreat. This group is quickly overwhelmed by the overgrown insects, and their leader begins to lose consciousness. One of the ants is snacking on his insides, and the leader's life begins to fade away. Just then, a man rescues him from becoming ant food and shocks the leader with his unbelievably powerful healing magic. The leader screams as this man is about to be attacked as well, but he is quickly saved, and the man that saved him calls on his teammate to follow up his attack. This next teammate is an absolute beast as he smacks around the monsters. The first group realizes that they were just side characters all along, and they are amazed as it becomes very clear that these guys that came to rescue them are S-rank hunters. These guys finish off the red ants, but an even bigger albino ant appears. The attackers decide to engage the leader while leaving the wounded to the healer. These powerful warriors initiate the fight and use incredible teamwork to rip off the thing's face arms. The powerful S-rank warrior then uses one of these face arms to absolutely destroy the giant pigmentless ant. There is no time to celebrate, though, as the albino army arrives. It turns out that the giant powerful ant was just one of many, but these hunters fear nothing. The mage powers up his lightning, and the brute goes into roid rage mode, causing his giant muscles to destroy his clothes. Their fight can be seen from the city, where another man is glad that they were able to make it in time. This guy's name is Mr. Choi, and he is busy as the city seems to have a serious ant problem as well. He lights them up with some serious flames, leaving only the colorless ones. There's nothing to worry about, though, as he has his team of exterminators to fight them. We then learned that over 10 years ago, portals that could connect to a different dimension suddenly appeared in the world. All types of monsters come from the portal, and only people with awakened special abilities stood a chance at fighting them. These people are called hunters, based on their magical powers. Hunters are classified by rank, ranging from S, which is the highest, to E, the lowest. However, the problem these hunters face is that once their powers are awakened, their abilities can no longer be developed, no matter how hard they try. 3 years pass from the day of the ant infestation, and we find ourselves in a city. A large group is preparing for a raid mission, and a guy named Kim welcomes some dude with a mullet and sweet-looking mutton chop sideburns. The two guys catch up and hope to make a lot of money if their mission is successful. Finally, our protagonist arrives, and we learn that his name is Jin Woo. Everyone recognizes him, and they all say hello. Mutton Chop's name is Parks. He hasn't been around for a while because he's been watching too many Anacat videos, so he wonders why everyone is greeting Jin Woo and questions if that means he is really strong. Kim explains that Jin Woo is actually infamous for the exact opposite reason. He just joined the group recently, but has already been given the nickname the weakest hunter of all of mankind. It's a pretty lazy nickname if you ask me, but it's not an exaggeration. Jin Woo was even injured in an E-rank dungeon and hospitalized. Jin Woo being called there is a sign that this mission they're about to go on is an easy one. The guys tried their best not to let Jinwoo hear their conversation, but Jinwoo heard it all, and he can't deny a single word of what they said. Just then, a girl named Juai arrives, and she's upset to see that Jinwoo has been injured. Yet again, he was the only one injured during an E-rank mission, and the group didn't even have a healer because they assumed the mission would be so easy that no one would get hurt. Juhee is mad at his team, but Jinwoo has already accepted the fact that he's just too weak. He has already gotten used to it, but there's no time to throw a pity party as the next mission is about to begin. A man named S. Chi introduces himself to the team and proposes that he be the captain for this mission. He is the highest-ranked hunter among them, so they are all glad to have him be their leader. With that decided, the mission begins, and everyone starts entering the gate. Kim tells Jinwoo to sit close to the group so he doesn't get injured, and Ji enters the gate with everyone else. Before Jinwoo enters, he takes a look at his pitiful sorry excuse for a weapon, a small blade with little magical power. Our boy spent all his money on worthless NFTs and barely gets any income, so that's all he can afford. Jinu is determined to do better this time and enters the gate. Elsewhere, a president of the Hunters Association named just finished a meeting with the government where he was told that they need to avoid something called dungeon break. However, these same people demanded that they supply the goods acquired from the dungeon. Those in the association make a living by reselling goods acquired from the dungeon, so he doesn't have a problem with the request. The crystals obtained from defeating magic beasts are known as magic gems, and they are sold in exchange for money back. With Jinwoo, we see that he has somehow managed to obtain a magic gem. Of course, he is excited to finally have gotten one, but he must quickly defend himself from a goblin. This thing is relentless, and Jinu's blade shatters to pieces when he attacks it. The goblin stabs our boy, and Jui just stands around screaming. Luckily, the big guy from earlier runs past the useless girl and rescues our injured protagonist. Parks moves on to look for the next beast, leaving Jui to heal Jinwoo. While she heals him, Jinwoo can only watch as the rest of the team does all the work. We then learn that magic gems obtained from high-rank magic beasts can be made into more powerful weapons to defeat stronger magic beasts. Mona crystals from the dungeon can also be weapons, but their effects are not nearly as good as those of the magic gems. The government wants to use these items as a new type of energy. It's safer and more efficient than all the other types of power, and it even causes less pollution. It's the ideal green energy, and the government is desperately researching how to generate electricity from the gems and crystals. These items can only come from the dungeon, so that makes the hunters extremely valuable. Back in the dungeon, the team celebrates after defeating the dungeon boss. Jinwoo really must be the weakest to ever exist as he took a ton of damage, and Jui is still healing him. She wonders why he chose to become a hunter in the first place, since he's always getting injured and he will surely meet his end one day. Jinwoo apologizes, but his words mean nothing, and she is just worried about him. Everyone gets their spoils from the battle, but there weren't many monarch crystals, and they likely won't make much money. Jinwoo wonders if it's really over, and ends up being a bit disappointed to have only gotten a small E-rank gem. Doubt begins to creep in, and he determines that it's not enough to be risking his life over. Just then, one of the guys finds a deep cave, and they wonder if they have entered some kind of double dungeon. This does make sense, since they have defeated the boss, but the dungeon isn't closing. Everyone gets excited, but Sony explains that in these situations, they are to report their finding to the Hunters Association and follow their instructions. The guys complain, though, and point out that this would mean they would be giving up a chance at finding valuables in an unexplored area. They also point out that it's only a D-ranked dungeon, so it shouldn't be so dangerous. Kim then guilts the captain by pointing out that Mullet Man's wife is pregnant with their second child, so they need more money than the stuff they already found will provide. Sony is concerned about the unknown dangers of the unexplored area, so they take a vote. The vote ends up being tied with the last one, to vote being Jinwoo. Everyone then just waits around as Jinwoo thinks about how dangerous a rank dungeon is for him. However, his father is missing, and he's the only one in his family that can make money. His sister has to go to college, so she doesn't end up stupid like him, and his mother has some serious hospital bills. Jinwoo needs money in a bad way, so he votes that they go back in the city. Some dude is told to place his hand on a black crystal. Some research lady does something on her little computer and calls on the next person. It turns out that these people are being tested to see how strong they are and what rank they will receive. This place is also the best place to recruit newly ranked hunters, and one suit tells Mr. Troy that they have signed a B-rank hunter and 2 C-rank hunters to join them. Mr. Choi is glad to hear it and expresses how he wants anyone with talent recruited regardless of age or gender. He is hoping to recruit all the best hunters, but he is sure that they already have one of the strongest and someone named Chahi elsewhere. Some thieves steal a purse and prepare to run over a girl that's in their way. This girl fearlessly takes the purse from these guys, but doesn't even make a single expression, like it's just a normal day. This girl is Chahi, and everyone marvels at the famous Shrank Hunter. She is practically a celebrity, but she can't handle all the attention. Her fans are amazed by her, and she takes off in the most over-the-top way possible. Back in the dungeon, Sanchi explains that the portal closes 1 hour after the boss is defeated, and they have already been walking through the cave for 40 minutes. Jinwoo apologizes to Jui for forcing her to come along because of his vote, but she's more upset about how he doesn't worry more about his own life. If he had been stabbed even just a little bit higher, then he would not be alive. On top of that, she was barely able to heal his hands and feet. She just keeps scolding him, and he realizes that it's only because of the B-rank healer Jui that he was able to survive. Jinwoo is very apologetic, so she explains that he can really apologize by treating her to a meal next time. Jinwoo is shocked by how forward she is being, but their little discussion is interrupted when the team finds the boss room. It's rare to find rooms with immense doors like this one, so something doesn't feel right. Kim refuses to go back empty-handed, so he is determined to enter, and the others join him. Back in the city, a group of hunters go through some kind of orientation as they watch a video of Go. He explains that the portal has existed for more than 10 years, and there are still many mysteries unsolved in the dungeon. Being a hunter is a dangerous profession, so even the most experienced ones cannot let their guard down during a raid mission. They cannot be arrogant, and there's one main key to surviving. That key is to be very cautious. Back in the dungeon, we see that this group of idiots have completely forgotten those words and are entering the mysterious, dangerous, and completely unexplored room. These guys act super casual, like they're on some kind of field trip, as it's their first time seeing this type of dungeon. The statues seem to be at least a century old, and some are holding strange musical instruments. Jinwoo stares at the big one, and Jui becomes uneasy with how eerily quiet it is in there. Everyone wonders where the boss is, and Sony stares at what looks like a magic circle on the ground. His attention is called to a tablet with some ancient writing, and it has some commandments on it. It's all about worshipping some type of god, but Sony is more concerned with something else. She is certain that she just saw the giant statue's eyes move, and it was looking right at them. Jinwoo thinks she's just losing her mind, but everyone is shocked when the door abruptly closes. One lady wonders if they are trapped, but some gym teacher-looking guy shoves her out of the way. He knew going there was a mistake and scolds them all for underestimating the dungeon. He tries to leave as he doesn't care about the treasures anymore, but the entire half of his body is instantly sliced off by one of the statues. Everyone is horrified, and they wonder if this statue is what they're supposed to be fighting. Jinwoo is the most shocked among them. The guy that just got wiped out in 1 second was a D-rank hunter. He was definitely stronger than an E-rank hunter like himself, so he knows that he has no chance against the statue. None of what's happening makes any sense to him, as this is supposed to be a D-rank dungeon. While everyone panics, Jinwoo comes to a terrifying realization. If that statue was able to move, then that might be true for the other statues. Jinwoo looks to the giant statue and is shocked when it looks right back at him. A look back into some of Jinwoo's history shows that he has been through many life and death situations. In his first mission, he was separated from his team and attacked. In another, he almost starved to death when trapped in a maze. He was also injured by an E-rank magic beast and hospitalized for weeks. Even the lowest ranked dungeons are life and death for him. Usually, hunters acquire gems, then use the money they get from them to buy stronger weapons. Those weapons are then used to defeat stronger beasts and get higher rewards. That isn't the case at all for Jinwoo, though, as he has nothing more than a cheap little knife. If it ever gets damaged in a fight, then he has to fight barehanded. His clothes are worn down and issues have holes in them. He endures constant ridicule from others, and he does this dangerous job that doesn't even earn much. The only way he's able to survive is by looking for loopholes, and he does this by carefully observing everything around him. Back to the present, Jinwoo instantly senses the danger from the giant statue, but his warning to the others isn't fast enough. The giant unleashes a powerful beam from its eyes, causing massive destruction. The team is horrified, and they can't believe what is happening. Jui trembles in fear, and Jin wonders how things ended up this way. They are trapped with no way out, and he's shocked to realize that he will be killed. If you want to see what happens next, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement fuels our excitement. Tell me in comment section if you want further update on the story. See you soon.